Hey, Royals, welcome back. Happy Tuesday. I hope you're having an amazing week and an amazing day. We are not. See, I just tried to put on earrings while we was out because I got on camera and I was like, where's my other earring? Because I forgot it. Child, what y'all get today is what you're going to get. Welcome to our home. On the way in, make sure that you like the video, subscribe, and share it. Anything you share of my content, please make sure you share it in a good light. Karma's a motherfucker when you deal with me. Be careful. We'll have our co-host introduce herself and then we'll get started.
Hi everybody, it's Rose and welcome to whatever Tuesday. Whatever Tuesday you want it to be.
Welcome to Tubman Tuesday, where we save lives.
Right. I'm like, whatever Tuesday you want it to be.
I'm telling you, listen, it's only the beginning of the year and life just is passing by so stinking fast. So let me tell you, because I don't have no sense. The other night, I was sleeping and I was sleeping so good. And then I woke up like, did I tell that person I was talking about them? Because I ain't shit. So I did tell him I wasn't talking about him. But let me tell y'all, my conscience is a little different. So if I have a problem with somebody and I call Rose, for example, to talk about it because I'm trying to make sure that number one, I convey it correctly. Number two, maybe it's something in my mind that's like, Asia, maybe you're just tripping and you need to calm down, PMS, overwork, whatever it is. Maybe you're blowing this out of proportion, right? And then me and Rose talk. If I'm still angry at the end of the talk, I will have the conversation with the person because I'm not a fake ass bitch. I'm going to have the conversation with the person. If I calm down during that conversation and light was shed that I was tripping, then I won't have the conversation because I don't need to have the conversation. But sometimes, y'all, even when I think bad about somebody, like I think they did something and it's in my mind and I'm so angry, I will call and be like, I have to apologize to you. And they be like, for what? Because this is what happened and this is what I thought. And so I'm sorry. Y'all, I ain't perfect, but I'm scared of Jesus because karma ain't no joke, number one.
Ain't no joke.
It's not. And I see the way that things play out for people. Being in a position where you have access to a lot of people and a lot of different stories and things like that, the first thing you think when people do certain things is that was your karma for some things. So I promise, I try to be a good person as best as I can. And then on those times that I'm not and I walk outside and my tire is flat, then I'd be like, well, that's what you get, stupid. You should have did what you did. So ownership. Learn it. So tonight for the hot topic, I was scrolling through TikTok because I told y'all TikTok scares me. But I was scrolling through TikTok and I was looking at this particular platform that I care for sometimes, but not all the time. A lot of these content creators that go live on TikTok and whatnot, their ego be out of control. They swear they philosophers, they know all, they know everything. Like, it's out of control. It really is. Like, they'll cuss people out and kick them out of the live. And it's just crazy. But in going through it, I actually ran past something that one of the panelists was asking the group. And I was like, dang, I never heard a Black mother say this. So I want to play it and then get our perspective. So visit this panel if you want. I left all the information up so I can give the credit at your own free will. It's interesting, but here we go.
I have a situation that I was actually wanting to try to get help with. Okay, so my son, I live in Tennessee. My son, of course, is Black. He's dating a white girl. And me and him were having a conversation one day, and he made the statement to me that he could not date a Black girl or woman just for the simple fact that they're too masculine.
God.
But then told me I wasn't supposed to take that personal. Right.
Did you ask him where he got that from?
Your child said that to you?
Yes, ma'am. My son said that to me.
How old
And you're Black?
Yes. He just turned 18 in August.
I want to point out really quick. Sorry, go ahead, Shanti.
How old is your black ass son?
He just turned 18 in August.
18?
Yeah.
I have a newly 18-year-old too.
It's always the little nigglets, huh?
Right, that
No,
part.
it's not. No.
Hold on, Javon. Mute real quick so
That's
Jonathan
some
can finish
nasty
talking.
work. That's some nasty work. I know you. I listen. I can tell just by the way you carry yourself. You're an amazing mother.
Thank you.
I know you did right by that boy. Whatever he's doing, that's society that put that in that little boy's brain, bro. That's not you. You did. I want to anybody say anything bad about you. You did an amazing job. It is not your fault.
So, my question is, as a black mother, if my nephew walked in and said that to you, how would you feel? Or what would you say back?
First of all, I would feel like I failed him some kind of way, because I would actually feel bad. I feel like I have failed him some kind of way, because why would he not want somebody like his mother? Why would he and then I would have a real good talk with him to see what makes him feel like that. Like, what made you come to this conclusion at 18? So I would really have to get into his head and see what's going on. What made you feel like this, son? But I would actually feel like I did something wrong, because there's no way in this world, my black son, you got a black mom and a black dad, that you should feel like you never want to date a black woman. Now, I could see if he said he was open to dating everybody, that's different. That's different. But for you to say that you never want to date somebody that is your whole DNA, I have a problem with that.
Yeah.
But I wouldn't be cussing them out or nothing. I would really try to see what makes you feel like this, son. And I would have to start there first. But I would be very disappointed.
I would. I think if any of my nephews said that, I would be upset. I would probably cry. I'm not even going to lie. Because I would be thinking, is so many women around you that are black women, and we're all colors, but we're all different, but the same, with morals and values. But what did we do wrong? What do we do in front of you that we shouldn't have done? But I would have the conversation. I would have the conversation as well, because with so much social media, a parent can do their very, very best and have the best possible environment and all of these things, and your child can still be swayed by popular opinion and the narrative that's put out there about us. Number one, and this is number one and the number two for me, and then you can give yours and then we'll move on. Because the narrative is painted that we are angry black women, that covers so much, because in the homes there's typically only a mom. Well, they want us to believe it's typically only a mom, but it's not. But there are majority mothers that have this problem, that are by themselves, and she had to be strong, she had to be stern, she had to be a protector, she had to be those things. So maybe there was a little more bass in her voice when she said something, or when she told you to do something, or very sad, or when she told you to do something and it mirrored a father, because it had to be stern. But how is that our fault? What are we supposed to do in that case? Why isn't it that we are strong, we step up to the plate when we need to, and we do the best that we can? The negative narrative needs to be removed, and it's been implanted in us by these people. But our black men carried that torch, and they magnify it. The narrative that's out there is so bad about us, yet we do so much
But
by
I think
ourselves
it's like
typically.
that. I honestly think it's like that too, because like we said, social media. Look at social media now and the high influencers, however the hell you say that name, you know, I ain't in my right mind today. They don't really date black women. If you really want to keep it 100, they dated other races. They're not even, at first it used to be light-skinned women. Now it's past light-skinned women. It's other races. So, and they're considered the baddies or the exotic ones and all that. So this is what they're seeing. So they probably feel like that's what they want. Like, why do they want a regular black woman like their mom or auntie or anything like that? You know what I mean? I think it's programmed in their head now. Almost.
Right. It is. It's in all of social media. The videos, the podcasts, the blogs, the memes, all of those things. It's really heavily infiltrated. How many times have you scrolled down your timeline and saw, I'll give you one. How many times have you saw one meme of a Mexican man against a Mexican woman or a white man against a white woman?
Barely. I can't even think of none.
I've never seen one.
Yeah, it just be us.
I've never seen one. And the worst part for me is that the picture of who created that is blackwhatever.com. But when those things reach out to us behind the scenes and say, "Oh, do you want me to post your stuff?" You can tell that their first language isn't even English. But other countries have caught on to the fact that black is where it's at. And so they come through that space, but they disrespect the shit out of that space because that's what they see. The fact that they are mirroring what they believe is it, and that's it, is sad. Most of those black pages are not black people. Yeah. They're not even people from here. It's sad, child. I can't do it. But Miss Tessa, child, let me tell you. So, did you see the post that TikTok had not monetized all of her stuff, gave her several strikes, and put her on suspension for 30 days? Okay. Well, just like anything, when it's in numbers, because so many were actually like, "That's not right. You're wrong as heck. You need to fix that, blah, blah, blah." She got it fixed and got the blue check mark the next day.
Oh, she did now?
Mm-hmm.
Because I know when I sent that thing to you about that, it still wasn't there. And she still hadn't got the check mark or nothing. Mm-hmm. So how did they fix the her being suspended?
They took it all, they cleared it all up and gave her the blue check mark and everything.
Oh, okay. Because when I had seen that yesterday or the day, whatever day we had, was
day before yesterday.
Yeah, I was thinking in my mind, like, TikTok is scandalous as hell for that, because literally she held TikTok on her back for last week. The whole world, well, the nosy people like me and you.
No, the whole world. She got just like I was saying in my lunchtime live the other day. I was like, everybody talking about, oh, she made 50 parts. Well, you have to. It's TikTok. They're only 10 minutes. We do an hour. So come on. But she did 50 parts. And y'all sat there and watched it. But we all tuned in to watch Cat Williams. And that was almost 2 hours. And then we watched Monique. Yeah, and that was 50 million.
Yeah, but hers was actually longer. Hers was literally like 5 to 7 hours, depending on if you watched it on 2 times or if you watched it regular, it's like 7 hours. But the thing is, y'all watch mess all day long on social media. So it's
my point.
Thing. Yeah, y'all watching stuff all day, 12 and 14 hours while you at work. So she had it to where, and I feel like she did good to capture people's attention nowadays and how short people's time, like they cannot sit there and watch stuff for longer than 5 minutes. Probably 2 minutes.
I liked it broken up.
Huh?
I liked it broken up, like you said.
Yeah, like if it's like that. So for her to capture everybody's attention, and everybody has these short time frames and time, like ADHD and all this, you know, they just.
But she did it in the matter of a week. So it was like an hour a day. That's what you watch a day. So I don't understand.
They watch more than
yes.
That's
If
why
people
people was
check their
like,
social media time, it's way more than that.
it's
I
way
bet.
more than that. And I will say I was one of the people when I seen it. When I start seeing it on social media, the first person I seen posted was Coco from SWV. I was like, what is that? Like, who is she? Then she was like you a lie, Satan. And she was like, you ain't doing this to me tonight. And I was like, what is that? But I just went on. Then and I started seeing it more and more. And I was like, let me go on TikTok and look. Because y'all know I don't be on TikTok that much. Even
Right.
to be on there. So I go on there to Google it and look in the search bar. And I looked on there and I seen this at 50 parts. And I was like, hell no, I ain't about to watch no 50 parts. Like literally,
Me
I was
too.
like, I'm not about to watch that. But I'm nosy as hell. So I was like, let me watch the first one and see. After I watched that first one, I was like, okay, let me just watch the second one and see. And by the time I got to the third one, I was like sharing it in the inbox where everybody was like, y'all need to listen to this. Like, y'all need to listen to this. And I didn't do it in one day. I did it like, well, I guess it was probably like in one day. I started at nighttime. I fell asleep. Then the next day I finished the rest of it. And
You
I
was
didn't
done
even
by the time the show started.
Yeah, I didn't watch it on 2 times, like speed it up. I watched it regular.
Right.
So I really did do like the 7 hours or whatever. But I really enjoyed it. Like to me, that was very good. It wasn't nothing all negative or seeing people. I mean, it was
That's what
negative, but
captivated me.
it was entertaining. But we wasn't seeing nobody getting killed and all this stuff that you see on social media all day long. It was literally like I was listening to somebody
A
do
story.
an audiobook. Yeah, and I love. That's why I said, okay, when she did that, I was like, I need to start reading my books again because just listening to her and me imagining in my mind and everything, it took me back to when I used to read every single day. I used to even take books to work. Like that's what I used to do. And then social media came along and it's like it took that away. But I literally used to read books all the time. And don't let me get a real good book. I'm taking that and I work night shift. I'm reading it at work. When I get home, I'm in the bed, like trying to read it, falling asleep. And that's how I felt with her. So I really enjoyed it.
It was really good storytelling. So I found it a little bit different. I don't be on TikTok like that either. But I'm not one of those people like, oh, I don't be on it like that. No, I just don't be on it. But Dr. P was telling me, like I told y'all, you need to start coming over here so you can get more people, which I have. And I saw people talking about somebody outing somebody and how dangerous it was. I like to look for things like that. That's what drew me in. And then when I saw it and I saw that it was an actual person and they showed the clip of her actually asking the person to give her a couple of days, I was like, who would do this to somebody? So I got drawn in through our normal behavior as, why would you do this to somebody? Now I'm going to go support her because you wrong. Always the underdog person. So I went and started watching it. I was like, well, why would you out her? So the more I watched it, to your point, it was like I was so calm listening to it. I was so calm until it got to certain ones, which, I pulled those. And we're about to listen to a piece of one of those. So we're actually going to listen to pieces of episode 22. In episode 22, it is right after we talked about it earlier a little bit, because I'm on episode 25 in the lunchtime, one, but it's right after he took her to the gravesite where the mother and father are but aren't. He said he was working in a building and he had gotten the car that they both wanted, a similar car. He got his because it was company paid for, but she didn't get her exact car. But he helped her put the money on the down payment for an Altima. Y'all know I love Altimas. Helped her put the money down on the down payment for an Altima, but she jaded as hell. Now this was where I said, girl, you can't be mad. If you wanted a car, he was paying all the bills now. You could have gotten the car you wanted with your own money. So that kind of didn't make any sense. It shows how the tie of money with her is the first time I'm seeing like it's coming out. But he also told her that he got her a trip to London, which, quick caveat, Rose and I keep saying something got to be wrong with this man because you literally make her happy. And then when you feel like you're not making her happy, like she all mad about the car, you don't want her to be mad about the car. So then you have this trip to London and Paris for her, which is how she ended up getting the trip to London and Paris, by the way. Come to find out, He is schizophrenic and something else. The parents did try to get him help. He is supposed to be on medication. The family doesn't talk to him because it's out of control. If you know anybody that has had it, bipolar, anything like that, as a family, it hurts. If anybody has watched any of this Wendy Williams, it looks similar to that. When you're really trying to help somebody because they're going downhill and it's nothing that you can do, but when it's causing problems for you, you have to separate. It's a very hard position to be in. I can't imagine how his parents felt. So there is something wrong with this man.
I knew it. I caught that. I caught that. I was like, he needs to be on medication and he needs to be on therapy. Period. Point blank.
Right.
All the stuff that he was doing, I'm like, you're literally crazy. Like, and not me just saying like, oh, Asia, you crazy. No, like,
no, for real.
Crazy.
You have to need medication. If y'all look at any of the ones we've done so far or my lunchtime ones, I never really go in on him like that because we'd be like, but you did everything for her except for the two lies.
That was it. We kept
it don't make sense.
I was like, it didn't make sense because literally you was doing more than a lot of men do for women nowadays.
Baby.
You were doing more than a lot of men was doing. A lot of men are not paying somebody's rent and their utilities. You're splitting that 50-50, period, point blank. And sometimes you probably paying more. So for him to do that, that put him higher than a lot of men already. But
yeah, no reminders or nothing.
Yeah, but you still a habitual liar.
Right. So what was triggering the lying part was what we was trying to figure. You didn't take money from her. You didn't scam her. You didn't do any of these things. So it didn't make sense to be a perfect man. And then
the worst one too, all in one.
Right, right. Oh my gosh. So let's take a listen to how she feels, and then we'll comment on it. And it'll be in 2 parts because I couldn't upload both. So 2 minutes, then 2 minutes. Grab a drink.
So it showed that he had like 5 unread messages. So I clicked on it, just being nosy.
What happened?
Hold on, it's actually this one first. So this is, I'm sorry, this is what happens after she has a London trip. She's planning a London trip. They're going to renew their passport. She comes home one night and this is phone information. So here we go.
Instead, what he hit me with is, man, I was just playing around. Like, ain't nothing happened.
Why is this acting?
You know, I shouldn't have said all that, but I was just flirting. It ain't mean nothing. I don't even know that girl. I was just flirting. And so I'm like, is this what you into?
Is the sound up there? This is out of control. Hold on, y'all.
What you saying is the sound what?
Could you hear it?
It was low. That's why you see me going like that. I was trying to turn the sound up.
Okay, let's do this. I could do it from my phone. It's on that phone. This can't be real.
You can hear it though. You can still
you could hear it, but just not a lot.
Yeah, it's not like real loud, but you can hear it.
Okay, let's see.
Instead, what he hit me with is, man, I was just playing around. Like, ain't nothing happened. You know, I shouldn't have said all that, but I was just flirting. It ain't mean nothing. I don't even know that girl. So it showed that he had like 5 unread messages. So I clicked on it, just being nosy. And what do my wondering astigmatism eyes see? So in his Facebook Messenger is about 7 women. I can see their profile picture and I see their names. Some of them had a preview. The ones that he had not read, I could see the preview of the message. One in particular said, when are you going to come get this? Y'all know what I'm talking about. So I clicked on that one first. And I'm reading through the thread. And so she's saying, when are you going to come get this? But earlier in the thread, or further back in the thread, he had asked her, when are you going to give me? And she said when lockdown is over. So from what I could piece together, he had not yet physically gotten with her. But had there been no COVID, oh, he would have smashed all day, every day. The other messages were innuendos, meaning the other messages from the other women were innuendos. They were not as graphic as the one between him and her. So I'm reading these messages, and what is interesting is that the person I am married to is not the person in these messages. Like, this man was on some nasty shit. And I say nasty not in a judgmental way, but in a, with me, he seemed to act as if I was damn near virginal white. And I clearly see evidence that you into some shit that with me, you acting like, nah, I ain't really into that. So I confronted him. I absolutely confronted him and was like, what the fuck is this? If 2 + 2 is 4 and 5 + 5 is 10, what the fuck is this? And so he did not, you know, oh, that ain't what happened, blah, blah, blah.
So let's break down the first part. So he has been caught cheating, essentially. He's been reaching out to other women. And the part for me that stood out, that I have experienced in a relationship, and also I know too many that have as well. Why is it that when you find out your partner is cheating, they do all of these other things with other women, but will not do them with you? They treat you like you're Virgin Mary, like you on this pedestal, like I can't disrespect you like that. Then why not get that out of your system before you get in a relationship or get married? Because it is very unfair. Number one, it's unfair because women follow men. We're going to follow you, especially if you want them to be long-term or want them to be a husband. If they don't show signs of being a freak, you're not going to. If they don't show signs of seeing you in a certain way, you're going to act according to the image that best suits that relationship. It's not being fake. It's being sensitive to that relationship, and it's compromising. If this isn't who you are and I could do without it, it's fine. But when you find out that
they need to be asking, what do you like and all that, and not be scared, because
but they be lying, bro.
That's what I'm saying. But why would you lie about that? Like, if you know that that's what you went to, let that person know. Like, because then you still gonna want to cheat, because that's still deep down what you want to do. But you didn't tell this person that, so you not even knowing they might be with you.
Most of the time they are. At our age, you can't make me understand how wives and girlfriends that you live with typically get treated so differently. Like, you think every other woman out there like to do extra shit, but you think when you marry her or get with her, why do you reduce her? Why don't you think that she wants some of those things too? But if she hears you talking about them, like women are bad that do those things, or that slut that did that for you, or that hoe, or she for the streets and all this other stuff, she's not even going to attempt it with you, because men lead. I don't care what nobody says. But my question is like you. Why do you really think she haven't done those things? Why does she all of a sudden become vanilla and you don't want to try? Either they want to try way too much, or they don't want to try anything, basically. But I'm like you. I believe if you like chocolate and you're only getting vanilla, you got to mix the two at some point. You need something off of your list too, or you're going to feel unfulfilled. Women are a little bit different. I could go without a lot of things, especially as it relates to sex, because other things trump that for me, as long as the sex is good. But men, I don't think that they can, because if they could, Ro, how many messages do you have have you ever had messages in your inbox that did not belong there from somebody with somebody that you actually knew?
How many times?
No, you don't have to say how many times.
Oh, but yeah, they've been in there, and sometimes I'll read it to where they could see that I read it, and I'm leaving it on read, and then sometimes I'll be like, what are you doing? Sometimes, but now, if it's recently or anything like that, I just leave that shit on read. Like, I'm not even about to entertain you. And sometimes I'll be offended. Like, what the fuck made you think that I want to do this? Like, it really do offend me, but then I be having to think, like, men just do stupid ass shit sometimes. But sometimes I do be offended. Like, but y'all the main ones on y'all page calling y'all wives or girlfriends queens and all this stuff and whining and dining, but you in the next female's inbox talk about what you want to take them out and all that stuff too. Go back to your wife or your girlfriend and leave me the fuck alone.
But that goes back to what we're saying. You won't do this with the person that you love, honor, and respect, but you will do it with me. So when I have been reached out to, and I was reached out to today, especially once you become an influencer of any type, that's the first thing that happens. That happens before you even get a damn check because you're more accessible. But I've never considered that flattering. I've never considered it like, oh, I must be better than her or nothing like that. I'd be thinking, so why you can't do that with her, but you think you could do that with me? And why do you think that I would want to be something on the side? Or like, I don't find it, I don't like it.
Literally.
Mm.
I literally hate that. Now, when I was younger, I probably would have felt a different way, but me being this older age of 44,
y'all, Ro try to put us in a senior home. Like, we are still so young. She wants us in a senior home so damn bad. Like, no.
At this older age of 44, it's disrespectful to me now. Like, it's hella disrespectful. It's disrespectful. Now, and if I was to tell that person that you was with, then I'm all kind of haters and all that stuff.
Why is that? If I truly wanted to reach out to the woman and say, I want you to know that this happened. And sometimes it used to be, so in my 20s, it was one particular person that it was a person that I was around, and it was her. It was her person. He would call me at work and everything, and it made me feel so disgusting because he was a friend. But I was like, how are you doing this to her? And for the most part, social media wasn't big back then, so I didn't have to like worry about a text or anything. But I did get emails at work, and I was thinking, like, what if she see this and then, or what if he twists it around? What if she find out and then my name gonna get put out there with bad stuff behind it? So I was contemplating saying something.
They always turn it around on a woman, but that's why you always girl, I keep receipts. I don't delete nothing because I wish you would.
No,
you delete everything that you want to say. You know they'll delete all their part and have your part. Boy, I'm about to put it all on blast, and you don't want me to do that. But I don't like that because it always come back on the women like you the one. But it's disrespectful. Like, that's so disrespectful to me.
it's very disrespectful. It's very disrespectful that you would put it in writing, that you would do it with someone that she knows, someone that she or he, but I'm sorry, but more men do it.
They smart now. Like, if you Snapchat friends with them, they know when you open it, it's gonna go away after that. If you do it, if you on IG, you could put it in vanish mode. When you look at it, it's gonna go away. The only ones I don't know is Facebook. That's the only one.
It does now. Because remember, I was being harassed and I was showing y'all some of the messages. Well, now it started. Well, I think it's been since last March. Around last March is when I saw the last message to me. And when it came through after I read it, it disappeared.
Yeah, so that's what they do now. Unless you just gotta, and unless when you look at it, you screenshot it right then, and then you know they see that you screenshot it, but it don't even matter because you should have never been inboxing me in the first place.
I don't look no more at all, Ro. I'm over it because it was all fake pages. I don't look.
Sometimes it catch you off a guard, like you don't know what is going on, and then you read it.
Oh, correct. And it's easier for them to get to you when you have a business. I'm grateful that Instagram has separated the messages now to where you have to click on the separate panels. I'm grateful for that, because that being harassed and exes and all of that stuff, that shit was out of control, because I don't bother nobody. If you go down my timeline, you'll see regular things that people in media talk about. 90% of it's not me. It's my business. Melanin Madam is my business. On my own personal Instagram, I don't think I've posted in 2 years. On Facebook, I post silly things, but
now see
either
me
way,
it's different because I sure will put up some shit.
you can post whatever you want to. Is the
I know,
point?
but I'm just saying, like they said that. Now it's been a couple of times, like the other day, Alondra had to talk me out of putting stuff because I'm about to start outing bitches, and I was gonna put it on.
Because it's not time yet. We're going to plan that. We're going to have
see, that's what it takes, people like you guys to talk me off the ledge, because
exactly.
I really don't give a fuck. Like, you played at this point, you didn't play it in my face, and it take for me to do that. I'm super mad though. Like, you didn't took me.
It takes Aquarius a while, because we'll do everything we can.
Yeah. So when I get like that, so I was glad that my best friend told me, no, Rashonda, please. I'm like, but I had already did some stuff that day that I can't say.
We'll talk after this show. Don't say it here.
I'm not.
Okay, so let's find out what his answer is. And let me just say, the love of a man looks a little bit different. It actually really does. Looks different than a woman's love. They actually mean it when they say the things that he is about to say. Raise your hand if you probably heard these things. Most of you will probably have your hand in the comments. I'm just saying. These are the things that wife, long-term girlfriends, and mothers of children tell women, which I don't know why you don't understand, because bitch, don't act like you ain't been through it. If you have not been cheated on by 30, baby, get on your knees and thank the Lord, because it's out of control.
I think that's even possible for you not to.
That's why I said, if you haven't, or if it haven't showed up on your doorstep, get on your knees and thank the Lord. That's all I could say. The shit is out of control. It's so out of control that women do. Reesa used the best word. She became numb. You do. You have to become numb to love people. You have to become numb sometime to love your kids and not throw their ass out the window. So don't act like it doesn't exist across relationships, period. So let's see what his answer was. I think it's going to be a lie. Y'all ready? Let's see.
Instead, what he hit me with is, man, I was just playing around. Like, ain't nothing happened. You know, I shouldn't have said all that, but I was just flirting. It ain't mean nothing. I don't even know that girl. I was just flirting. And so I'm like, is this what you into? And so he was like, no, it's not what I'm into. It was just stupid. It was stupid because I shouldn't have done it. So I'm going to be honest with y'all, because I've been honest all this time. What pissed me off the most was that here I am as a woman behaving, trying to do the right thing by him and this marriage. And you mean to tell me you out here offering your ding-a-ling to random chicks that you don't even know? I was more angry at the fact that I'm like, dude, do you know how much I have turned down in order to be faithful to your dumb ass? And I'm seeing that you basically are out here acting like you got Skittles taste the rainbow. I was hurt. I was angry. I thought about getting my lick back. I'm just being honest. I did. And he played it off like it ain't nothing serious. It ain't nothing serious. Don't overreact. Don't get emotional. It was just dumb. He was like, I will delete the messages. I'll even delete Messenger. And I told him, I was like, that's really not good enough, because that's not going to fix the root of the issue. So this is where I introduced that we need to do marriage counseling. He didn't have any issue doing marriage counseling. We did not do premarital counseling, but he was like, that's fine. He was like, I don't have no problem doing marriage counseling, because if anything, it can help us. So I thought that, okay, he may not have physically cheated from what I could see on the messenger. He may not have physically cheated, but he damn sure got caught, you know, doing a little something, because they had exchanged pictures. So y'all know what pictures he sent. And I was disappointed because I don't like men that send I don't like men that send those type of pictures. But anyway, that's another issue.
They always say that shit. That's the easiest way to get out of everything is they really mean it, blah blah blah. But if the shoe was on the other foot, we for the streets, they even listen.
Let that shoe be on the other foot. Let them see that you get flowers. Let them see a one-sided something and you don't respond appropriately.
Girl, let them see them put something in your comments or anything. Like, it could be anything. But they can be out there up in bitches' inboxes and all kind of stuff. And you supposed to forgive them. So she did good. But I do just think, she said she became numb, but she was also doing that because he was taking care of the bills and all of that. So it's like...
And now you are married.
Yeah, you're married too, but...
Listen.
They lie.
I can't.
They liars.
They're big liars. They are. And it be I'll delete all my social media. Ain't none of that important. Blah, blah, blah. Okay, delete your social media. 2 years later, suggested friends.
Girl, they delete that mess and they be right back on that mess.
Right back on it under a whole different thing. You have no idea about it because you don't be on social media like that. You're not looking for it. You don't nothing. So you don't until one day it pops up and you're like, say what?
Liar. Just be lying.
And I was just playing. You sent your pictures out to everybody and you was just playing? You got whole videos?
I be wondering, when do they even, if you sleeping in the same bed too, well, you can work different shifts. Like, when do you have time to even take them pictures and stuff? And like she said, I don't like them kind of pictures either. I literally
Girl, I had one that took pictures in my apartment and my Hello Kitty shit was on the side.
Dummies.
I was like, so the bitch knew she had somebody because that's my Hello Kitty shit.
He probably could have said it was his daughter's stuff. Just think they lie. They come up with a quick lie. But it's
either way, you doing the shit in my... Listen.
What do you get out of that? Like, what do you get out of... But I guess it's the same thing as women sending news too. But I don't like those kinds
But do women do that as much as men do it? Send out, like, I never met you before. Oh, you look cute. Here's a picture of my vagina.
I think nowadays...
Women do that? Oh.
Nowadays they do. I think they just as well as the men. And then just think they'll just meet somebody and then the man that asked them for it and they'll send it. Y'all don't know, you don't know his first or last name. You know the name that's on his profile and you sending out pictures just because he asked. That's what they do. But men, like I said, like he said, he was just playing. You wasn't just playing.
Well, the whole time he never cheated. And ain't nobody came out and said, oh, I was messing with him while you was messing with him. So he actually didn't cheat on her. Physically cheat on her. And he must have stopped talking to women because none of them have come out either. Because I was waiting for that. Like, oh, Lord. Like, what are women finna come out and say to this girl? Please don't do that. She been through enough. It's not even going, you're not even going to be received the way you think you are. People gonna think you're coming for her versus coming for him. So I don't even think it's a good idea to do it. But I just could not. When you start, so for people that don't know, I have a nonprofit. I also have an HR consulting business where most of the consulting that I do is on the emotional intelligence, employee relations side. So that is a special kind of skill set. Stick a pin right here. I always say that I think everybody should study emotional intelligence because it's really good for you. I love it. It's helped me to stop fighting and doing things like that, and yelling for the most part. I just take things differently. But it's allowed me to hear different stories from different people, from man on man couples, women to men, men to women, all different things. But the ones where it's man and woman, the shit repeats itself. It's like every woman, when they call me, they damn near telling me the same story when it relates to a man. It's just crazy to me that what do they do? All have these stories programmed, and there's some of us that have heard the same things like, oh, I was just playing, it ain't even like that. You've heard it from more than one man. At what point, it's almost like if I don't even fucking understand. I don't. The shit is stressful because I don't have an answer. I don't even have what I think could be an answer.
We don't. We think different than men. So even with us asking them, when they tell us they answer, we still don't understand. We be like, well, why do you think like that? Like, why? Like,
because they're liars. I do understand that. Yeah.
But I don't. Yeah, but why are you a liar? Like, it's no
why are they a liar?
Yeah, like it's no reason for you to be a liar.
They don't like to hear the word no. They are controlling. They are dominant. They are possessive. They are all of those things. I mean, just listen. We have heard somebody say that they like to explore things sexually. They are proud about that. It is a part of their life. They are upfront with that's what they love. And when we ask one question, oh, so when you get married, can your wife do that too? Oh no. House way. So what they do is they paint an image that allows them to get what they want until it runs its course. And then they know that you already love them by then, or you're already married to them, or you already had the baby by then. And so they know that women innately will work on a relationship because you're thinking, this doesn't make sense. Why you are doing this? Why would you want to jeopardize everything that you have? Men propose to women. Men get women pregnant. You didn't have to do that if you didn't want this woman in your life forever. So what makes you do that? Why not just stay single? Because you want both. You're selfish. I don't want you to tell me no. You can't tell me no if I never ask. I don't want you to do the same thing. So you can't do the same thing if we don't discuss it and I don't tell you what I like it and you tell me, all right, well, we can have an open marriage or we can have an open relationship. The bills is working good. We go on vacation. We love each other. All these things is great. You can have a hall pass with one person. Live your life. Just don't ever let it get back to me. Wear protection. You need to do a test every 3 months. We're going to work it out. We're going to have a business deal.
And just
but I'm going to do it too.
A lot of celebrities do that. But it really be the women giving the men the hall passes. It's not the other way around.
Because we don't really care to have one. But again, if you were honest, the likelihood of that happening, listen to what you just said. Celebrities do that a lot. Because in order for you to get that level of agreement from a woman, you have to be providing you have to give her 80-20. You have to be damn near let her ride a unicorn. You have to provide her complete security in every other space. You have to create an environment where she believes, because I have allowed you to do this and this is our agreement, you're going to protect yourself, you're going to do it the right way. And all the other time around this, so you're never going to not be with me to be with her. You're never going to do any of these things. So I wouldn't know if you was doing it anyway. What I'm telling you is that if you're going to do it, this is how I would prefer for you to do it. So now you're telling me you like those things?
Don't let it come back to me. I always say cheating is a rich man's sport. If you got the money, it's a rich man's sport. If you don't even have to be rich, but you could be well off to where you can take care of the woman.
You checking all her boxes of comfort.
Exactly. But you
because those type of men they don't come home late. They work it into their original program. Most men cheat at work. Most men cheat during work hours. They don't cheat out the ones that do it right. They cheat during times that they are not going to miss soccer practice. They're going to still take the kids to school and everything. You are not to call them. You are not to call them outside of those hours. And where I learned that the most and got to see marriage in a different light was when I worked at Cox, because all my life, basically, I've worked for companies that cover multi-state, but in my HR role at that job, I would fly in if people had issues. And I really got to know a lot of people, and I was a little bit older, and I wanted to start really learning about people. And so when I had the opportunities and CEOs would reach out and want to talk to me, things like that, I really took in what they were saying, because in their mind, I provide for my home. I give her everything she wants. I don't miss a birthday. I don't miss a Valentine's Day. I don't do any of these things. I can't believe that stupid bitch called and told my wife, blah, blah, blah. And that girl would be cut off, because they, in their mind, according to what they wholeheartedly believe, they covered their wife. So if I covered my wife and did all of these things, and you took it upon yourself to do this, and that wasn't our agreement, you knew I was married, you knew these things, and you betrayed me, you got to go, because you will never compromise my wife like that. And they wasn't playing. Like, when I say cut off, one woman, and I've told this story before, called and she was like, I just want to let you know, when you think such and such is at meeting, such and such is over there either playing golf or he's meeting at this hotel with his mistress. It was the wife calling to tell. And I was like, ma'am, I can't. I'm really sorry this is happening. Do you want the number to EAP? Like, I moved the conversation because it was nothing I could do. Now, when the mistress called, trying to tell me what he was doing, because she wanted to get him fired. She wanted that to destroy his home. She didn't want them to have none of the stuff that he just told her. You don't have access to me anymore. So she called to tell all of those things. He'd be with me. I got, like, she kept a log of like when they met together or whatever. So you in the beginning was already prepared. You wanted her position. But when she called to tell me that, I closed my door. My line could not be recorded. And back then you didn't record calls like that, like with phones. I let her have it. Ma'am, what exactly do you think I'm supposed to do for you? Didn't you know your position? You know who you was? I don't even know who you are, but I know his wife. How dare you? And how dare you want to take the food out of kids' mouths? Do you understand what you're really doing? Well, it's him. He's the one that should be faithful. No, ma'am. In the Bible, it says adultery is you too. And your character. How can you be comfortable with doing this and calling this job? You are out of line. Girl, that lady didn't call back no more. Now the wife called back about 72 more times, honey. He's there right now. He's playing golf. Man, I can't do anything with this. But that wealthy man's sport, it is indeed that, and they see it as a sport. They are not out at parties, you know, they are not at adult entertainment events together. They are not at, you know, allowing the mistress to have, you know, pictures as their profile picture. They're not doing any of those disrespectful things that I see.
Yeah, they know their place.
They know their place because they signed up for that position. Now, interesting enough, caveat for anybody that wants to know, no woman ever reached out to her. I'm not just talking about after, well, I will say in the stories, they didn't reach out to her because, of course, there's a lot more to tell, because with a pathological liar, a pathological cheater, every day is an adventure. One day could be a whole book. It really could. So there's a lot that she left out. Like she said, hers was about taking ownership and sharing the story, so that if anybody else was going through something similar or not noticing certain red flags, then she could help them. Now, for me, to end, one question that I do have is, she worked for law enforcement, and like I explained, you don't have the right to just go into people's information, but I thought about something else. She could work in finance where you have no access to anything and you're not actually embedded in that, because I was wondering why she did the background check, but before marriage, why not do a deeper one?
Do background check in the beginning. She should have did all that in the beginning.
She did do a background check in the beginning. That's what she was saying.
Not
Actually,
before they went to Cheesecake Factory.
she did a background check in the beginning. That's when she said that when she talked about the social, I think. Oh, not I think.
No, remember she did the social, but remember before when they met at I'm talking about she should have did a background check before they met at Cheesecake Factory.
Before they even went on the first date?
Yes. Yes. I think so. These men lie too much. Is she
These days, no. Well, what you're saying, yeah, but would I have thought to do that? No, I don't. If I'm not, I feel like it's the border to being intrusive. And so if I went on the first date and I liked it, then I probably would do it the second date. I would now, these days.
Yeah, these days I would do that first.
Yeah, I would. I would. Now, what I did do when I was dating for that couple months before I decided to just not just be with Marcus like that, but I wasn't planning on marrying him. We were dating. I did at least type in the person's name and do a Google search to see if anything would pop up, criminal, you was in a newspaper, like anything like that. I did do those, but I felt like I wouldn't want nobody to be intrusive like that with me, but I'm on the not nosy side. But you got to remember my career is a little bit different. So I try to balance out integrity. But these days,
I'm on the very nosy side.
And these days, to be fair, is so bad. Oh my gosh, it's so bad.
They be lying about their name. So like
that's why I wouldn't waste the money to do all of those things. But
no, but I'm just talking about do a soft search, like you said on Google.
Oh, like typing in the name?
Yeah, like typing in the name, all that to see all that. And then if you get to really liking him, like after Cheesecake Factory and y'all talking for hours and hours, after that I would do it. I don't care. Like to me, it's like you just can't waste your time no more. Like
you can't.
That's something you can never get back. You're not about to play with me,
No. And she said in his car, I wouldn't have did that. Everybody's different. I'm a little way different. Like I wouldn't have did that.
Especially on first date. No, we could talk on the phone. Just talk to me on the phone all the way back.
On the way home,
all night. Right. If you want to, but I'm about to
right.
Car, sir, so you can lock the doors.
So you could drive off with me.
Right.
What if this child lock is on? Let me try to open the door from the inside first.
Girl.
It's amazing the different things that you have to think of. But yes, I would have done a search. And by this time, because I believe the next one we'll be talking about will be in the 30s, you have to come and listen every day at lunch. Every time I talk about a particular 5 chapters, it'll be a section of that 5 chapter that I'll go over, but I won't go into depth because Ro and I will go into depth on the show because I think they're really good to pull out for lessons. One, to connect with. For anybody that feels like I'm so stupid for X, Y, and Z, there are things that we have all been stupid for. But some things you're not stupid. If you don't think like a criminal, how would you think some of these things? If you don't think in a way of lying, how would you think some of these things? But what I can say is with social media the way it is now and watching real people tell their stories, you should be listening from a perspective of being able to identify things later and see signs and learn more. If your knowledge base isn't growing with social media, you're crazy. Because if you're listening for the gossip component, then it's going over your head. And when the shit happens to you and looks a little bit different, you're going to fall for it too. And that's what's going to happen. To be fair, this is the point for her where all red flags are out the door. You know for sure this is going on. And this is when she goes to marriage counseling to try to figure out some things. Ro, if you was married in January, because this is only March, if you got married to somebody in January that you just y'all not even a year in, would you uphold marriage the same way you would if it was with somebody that you was with for a while? Or would you be like, still cool, I got a right to annul this because all of this happened in a short time, so I can use annulment instead of divorce? Would you walk away quicker from a marriage? I think that I would too, because it moved so fast. I would be less tied to it. It's usually because you dated for a long time. You have the history. They built all these things. Their good list and longevity and their behavior is much longer than the bad things is usually why you stay. So I just don't understand. I can't connect with that piece, but I can connect with the piece of the conviction of God. I can. Once it's just certain things that you just feel in the pit of your stomach if you don't honor it, that things are going to be really bad for you. And in the Bible, it's a lot about adultery, betraying your marriage, putting things before your marriage. And so I don't play with my marriage. Have I made mistakes? I have made mistakes. Have I made decisions I shouldn't have made? No. Yeah, no. It's just a different kind of conviction. It just feels different. And if somebody feels that, you can't tell them they're stupid. That's between them and God. You got to leave that shit alone, because that's a covenant of a marriage. And you telling them what to do is you entering the covenant of a marriage, and you're also not supposed to. So God will move your ass out the way. I don't know why he don't move some people out the way faster though.
I think so you can learn your lesson, really learn your lesson from it, because sometimes I think if he move you out the way too fast, you will do the same mistake again. So if you got to really go through trials and tribulations, you will know, like, I will never do that again.
Oh.
Well, that's what I like.
No, I think that's good. I think that's a good reason. I never thought about that. I would before the first date. At this point, I would, because of the way that life is and things are so easily accessible. I would. You could do a monthly subscription at this point. If you're going to be dating, you could do the monthly subscription. That way, it could, like if you go on more than one date, because while you're dating, you shouldn't
multiple.
Yeah.
Look all month long. Yeah.
Right. Right.
And look up theirs too, because you already got a subscription.
Okay, saving money. That's smart. Y'all can have a friend group. Bro, you are so smart. You're so smart. This show is so knowledgeable. Okay. So, let me see if I have it on this phone really quickly so that you can hear on the way out the call from the brother. And I do. So here we Okay.
Monday, February 26, 2024. Earlier today, Legion's older brother, Chris, reached out to my friend, Tracy Tripp, an attorney here in Metro Atlanta. He called her firm to ask how he can get in contact with me. Tracy, being the friend that she is, basically had the attitude of, I don't know you. You're going to have to verify. Remember, trust, but verify. Chris did exactly that. On the phone, he verified, because I was on speakerphone when she called me, that he was in fact the older brother. I felt comfortable. I called him from my personal phone. I called him at 2:16 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. He and I spoke, and there were two things that he asked for me to clear up. Here it is. Number one, Legion's mother passed away first. His father passed away a few years later. It was at the father's funeral that Legion brought his ex-wife, and apparently there was an altercation of some kind between Legion and his older brother. They have not seen each other since the father's funeral. The information that I initially gave in my 50-part series was that they have not seen each other since the mother's funeral. So I want to clarify, they have not seen each other since the father's funeral. Secondly, Chris wanted me to also let you all know that their parents, though they are passed away, the parents did everything they could to get Legion psychiatric help. At one point, they were taking him to different therapists and psychologists. He's been diagnosed as a kid with both bipolar and schizophrenia. I did not know this. Chris informed me today, Monday, February 26th, during that phone call, that their father came out of retirement to help pay for the medications. And as Legion got older, he refused to take them. Did not know that. I say all this to say that Chris gave me permission to go ahead and relay this message to everyone to clear up some things that were said in the 50-part series. He also had a message for me. He said, "We support you. The family is not mad at you. We've known how he is for years. You can expose that motherfucker." So thank you, Chris. I told him I would make this video to clarify exactly what he said, and he told me that if you or any friends know the family personally up in Philly, Chris has a message for you. The captain is loose. Apparently, you all should know what that means if you know the family. I say all this to say again, I take responsibility and be accountable for the series that I put out, that 50-part series. So if I said something that was incorrect, I have no issue making sure that I correct it as best I can. However, let me be very clear, ladies and gentlemen. I know what my ex-husband put me through. I cannot speak for anyone else. I can only speak on my experience. I realize that this story sounds absolutely outrageous, but it's true. I filmed it the way I did for a reason, because it's true. I gave you details because it's true, and I stand on that. You all have a wonderful day. And last but not least, to Chris and Tracy, I thank you. Talk to you guys soon.
So what do you think about that? On
I
our
was,
way, what's your feedback?
I was happy that he actually called, but it was still controversy around that. People saying she lying about him calling. I'm happy that he called because it all made sense. It put all the pieces, well, it didn't put all the pieces, but it put some more pieces to my puzzle because I literally was saying that about that.
That was the final piece we needed.
Yeah, that was like literally I said that. So I was happy that he did call. It's nothing that you could say now, sir. I mean, you can still sit up there and lie and talk about you at Netflix studios and making video, your documentary now and all that. But I was glad that she did that. Like it actually, it put the icing on the cake.
That further confirms that man is sick. Anybody that comes out and says, in relation to that when you hear about the story, your first thing is, I'm gonna sue, and I got a Netflix deal, and we already on episode 16 or day 16 shooting,
And
it
hadn't even been out for 16 days. It hadn't even been out for a week when he said that.
I just
like, boy, go take your medication.
He's not going to take his medication. But remember, in one of the episodes, or at the very end, when he went to stay at the clinic or whatever.
Now that's the type of person that need a guardianship.
And does.
That's
he does.
That's the type of person that needs that. Like, clear, boy, you is off your rocket.
He is, and he really needs help. But it puts into perspective, or it at least allows us to understand why he is doing these things. Because without that piece of information, it's really messed up. Also, without that piece of information, people are asking what kind of parents he had, this, that, and the other. Well, if all the other siblings are good people, and not that I still can't necessarily say he's not a good person, because if you're sick, then that's why you're doing some of the things that you're doing. Now one can argue that you aren't a good person because you aren't taking your medication, and you know that it's something that you need. And if you have enough sense to build a social media, go on there and respond, then you should have enough sense to take your ass and get some help, because all of these, women are coming out and telling their story and what you have done to them. And instead of feeling remorse, you're more interested in continuing with your lives. But I don't know what schizophrenia and bipolar look like together. Like, how far gone are you? Is it more that you're out of sense than in sense? Or I don't know. But we do know at least that he does need help in real life. He does need medication in real life. And so the things that he is doing is in relation to that. But please leave Reesa alone. If you're jealous because she's getting what she deserves, just say that. But one thing's for certain, and two things for sure. When you go through something and somebody puts you through it, on the other end of it, God is going to reward you in the face of your enemies. It says it right in the Bible. And now that we're seeing it actually happen in real life, and you can't even deny that you see it, the naysayers that are pretending like they don't see it or trying to throw it into something else, you're truly hurting yourself. You really are, because what you're saying is that you don't see God working when everybody else does. You could do whatever you want, but a lot of that you can keep to yourself because you're trying to tear the girl down. I'm happy for her. I'm not jealous at all. All I'm saying is, you know, she could have at least did her hair. Like, you throwing in, we see you.
When you doing, if you're doing 50, like most of the time her hair was done. She just had the little roller set in it. She was driving.
No, I was just giving an example of how they throw insults out there. Like, you, how could you think you would get a VP, or you're not shaped right, or you're big back?
Just jealous. That was pissing me off when people were saying that. Like, it literally was pissing me off, because I was saying, just because a person is a certain size, where they making it seem like because she was a big woman that they accept stuff like that. All women, all sizes go through that. That's not a big woman thing. All women go through that. So that made me mad that they made it seem like just because she was big, that's why she accepted that kind of behavior, when that's not true.
Or that she was so desperate to get married. I wasn't desperate to get married.
I hate that people are so mean like that. Like, that literally pissed me off when they said that. But I was like, hopefully she got good, rough skin and can take it. Like,
and the reality is, based on TikTok and the way that turned out, yet another thing that God blessed her with in front of her enemies. If the truth is so many people are against her, then it just got debunked, because a lot of people would have had to say something in relation to her getting her money and TikTok not doing this to her for them to reverse it, and so quickly. This moved faster than P. Diddy. But instead of you're not saying it that way, and hopefully she's seeing it that way. There's so many people support you that anybody that saw it, tagged TikTok, wrote TikTok, did something. I did, because how dare you do this shit right in our face and want us to stay on your platform? And you just did this right in our face. She did it in 1 week. How was, huh?
I said on Black History Month, in Black History Month. Like, you played in our face, TikTok.
You played in our face. Don't do her like that. Don't do her like that at all.
We just waiting for her to get her car.
Yes, and that is next. But all type of people are reaching out to her, and I love it for her. It actually gives me life. I love seeing something new for her every day. I do. But that is it from me. Jealousy will get you nowhere. And thinking you are better than somebody else because of the way you look or anything you have or anything, actually, it can be taken away. It was one girl that was pregnant, and let me get this right. She was with her first love and had a baby by him, left and moved and married somebody else. That man didn't treat her right. This man came and got her and moved her back, and now she's pregnant with him again, but she's married to the one she left and went with. She was talking about Reesa. She was mad because Reesa had blocked her, because it must have been earlier in her content creation side, because she already had 100,000. She must have did something that was wrong, or maybe it made her sad to see you pregnant. We don't know what the reason is. Either way, she was blocked. She did a whole video. Oh, I support you, but maybe you just shouldn't fall in love with people that just pay your $1,400 in bills. Bitch, you left the love of your life to go marry somebody else. That love of your life had to come and get you. Now you're fighting for custody with your son. You went back with him and is pregnant with his baby. You're technically committing adultery, and you are pregnant. You don't have other things to talk about, ma'am?
You need to worry about your own affairs. Why are you worried about hers?
That part. No, you're just mad because she blew up overnight. No, she didn't. She's been creating content. But y'all, we got to watch the way we treat people. And I say we because I'm a human too, but I don't treat people like that. I don't. It hurts me more to hurt somebody, even if they hurt me first. I can't. That's one of my problems. I just can't do it. The lick back, all of that, I can't
To
do
be
it.
one of my problems, but not anymore.
Well, you have a very good reason not to. I mean, I do too, but
we can't be like that all the time, and everybody
I
always
know.
says that's just us. But it's like at some points we do have to change ourselves. But they was like, you not being your real self. Yes, I am. I'm gonna start treating people accordingly. The way they treat me, that's the way I'm gonna treat them. Period. Point blank. You can't be nice to people no more because they take advantage of it.
Don't I know? And we both know that I know. But I can't make it. I've been trying to work on it. I have. For the last year, I've been trying to work on it. But it's just something in the pit of my stomach. And I feel like when I make a decision like I thought I did, that we talked about, and I just couldn't do it. I don't know. But I'm going to do better. I don't know. Just stay in prayer, y'all. Life is hard out here. There's people intentionally wanting to make it worse for people. And that part I just can't get. I just can't. So that is it from me, and Ro will have her closing remarks.
I don't think I have no closing remarks today.
Okay, where will we see you tomorrow?
You'll see me on Talk to Rose tomorrow at 8 o'clock.
Okay, so we will see you tomorrow. Thank you for joining. Make sure you like the video, comment. I don't really get comments. I get them during the live, but I really don't get them later because I got a lot of words blocked. But you have a lot of words blocked. I don't want hate on my platform. I know it's going to come to me, but I'm not in the place to have it right now.
Block it out when they say it. Just like
it goes to a separate. We have a separate place where we can go and get the messages that are on hold or that were retained or whatever, and they just won't come through. I got certain words blocked. I can't do it, so I do. But that's it. Have a good night, everybody. Have an amazing week. I will see you tomorrow at lunch promptly at 12:30 for 26 through 30. Have a good night.